Okay. Okay, guess I was muted. Anyway, thanks for those of you who could make it out tonight. And we have our whole team here, but instead of me pointing them all out and going around the room and doing that, and hi, Jimmy, thanks for coming. We have a little video here to introduce all of them. So let me just play that for you real quick, and then I'll roll into what I was going to talk about and basically just try to give you a little bit of feel for market conditions that we're seeing. We did do some compensation analysis across some Azure roles that are in the market here in Omaha to give you some data points behind that. And then just a few other variables that we're seeing in the marketplace around IT in general, but it certainly impacts Azure as well. So let me just start this and we'll, okay. Thank you. All right, well, got through that. The Alt tab didn't take me to your next.
Take me back.
Very nice.
There you go. You're
Okay.
good to go.
All right. So we'll just roll through this pretty quickly with you tonight, but we wanted to share some of the things that we're seeing in the marketplace. But before I do that, just a little bit about TRN. So you may or may not be aware, we formerly were known as Arias Group, and we were acquired by the Reserves Network back at the end of October of last year. The Reserves Network is based in Ohio, and this is a little bit of information about them, but they have been around since the middle of the 80s. Really neat organization. They were founded by a United States Air Force veteran. They started their business around light industrial and administrative staffing, but they've expanded into the professional ranks as IT and accounting and finance and executive search. That's what attracted them to us. That is the direction they're taking their company. They want to grow the professional ranks of their company, and so we were an attractive acquisition for them. We've been going through all that transition here in the last few months. We finally got settled in. This is our new office space. We're still getting settled into this, and you know, I guess the main thing to know is the name has changed, but really nothing else has changed. All the people are the same. The way we do business is the same. And so you won't notice a big difference there, but we are the Reserves Network, or TRN, staffing for short. Wanted to talk a little bit about the trends we're seeing out there. And these are just some national trends, some quotes from different sources. But I really wanted to talk about the market conditions that we're seeing here in Omaha. You know, there's been some people asking me lately, we're hearing about layoffs, you know, big companies doing technical layoffs on either the West Coast or the East Coast. Are we seeing that here? Are we seeing a slowdown here? And the answer is not really. We haven't seen a slowdown in the Midwest. Maybe a slight pause or a slight dip. But if there's any indication the last 30 days, we've seen it started to trend back up again. What I've noticed over the years in being in this industry is what happens on the coast usually takes a long time to get here, and it doesn't always get here at all. And when it comes to economic things, the Midwest, you know, the companies and the way they operate, they're on pretty stable ground, and so they can weather the economy situations a lot better than the coast, it seems like. So we're not expecting to see anything trail off, and if it does trail at all, we don't see it going very deep into the year. By the end of the year, it should be taking off again, because the forecast for the next few years is excellent. All of IT is good, and Azure is leading the way. All things cloud is leading the way, but Azure, as you guys all know that are in it, has a significant market share. So wanted to talk about some of the career trends. Now, I chose these 4 roles in the Azure space. Obviously, Azure can impact all kinds of different roles in IT. It can be part of a lot of different roles, but we're going to highlight these, and we're going to basically give you some salary compensation information about these 4 roles here in Omaha. But before I do that, I know there's only a few of you here, but are those of you that are here, are you currently in a role, hands-on role with Azure? Show of hands, you're currently in that in your previous role? Okay. Do these roles that are just up here on the screen, do they describe what you do? Which one is for you? The bottom one? Yeah. Full stack developer. Okay. Good. Well, then this will be a little bit more relevant for you. If there was something on here that, if you're in a role that isn't depicted, you can let us know. We can tell you more. We can do a specialized comp analysis for you for that role. That has been a benefit of becoming part of the Reserves Network. They have provided us with more compensation analysis tools and data than we've ever had before. So we're having a lot of fun pulling this data together, and not only offering it to the talent, but offering it to our clients. Wanted to talk a little bit about consulting. So Azure is one of those spaces where it lends itself really well to consulting. So if you are interested in a career in consulting, you could have that with companies like ours. There is plenty of work to go from place to place. The advantages are on the screen there. But what I would also say is, the other thing that happens is contract to hire or consulting to hire scenarios. And what we see with consulting to hire, and why it's a good approach for you as talent, is really 2 reasons. One is, just like the client likes to use that for their purposes of kind of trying before they buy or trying before they offer, you get to do the same review of that company and make sure that it's a good culture fit for you. Their technology is going in the direction they're say it's going, because sometimes during interview processes, companies talk about their vision and where they're going, but they don't always have themselves on a track to go that direction. Right. And then the other thing is just from a compensation standpoint. So we do direct hire as well as contract and contract to hire. But what I would say is we have seen it over and over again that when a consultant goes in and does an assignment and then converts to the client, what they are offered at that point of conversion is almost always a better offer than what they would get on day one on a direct hire scenario. And it makes sense, right? Because that client now has, 6 months or more time of evaluating you, actually demonstrating your skills and what you can do in the job. Whereas when they're hiring you on a direct hire basis, they're making those judgments off of a handful of interviews that last a few hours and some references and, your resume. So there's no substitute for you actually demonstrating your capabilities. And it's tough because in this market, in this IT market, salaries are going up and up and up. It's creating equity issues for companies. that already have employees that are based on another salary scale. And so for them to make that decision to bring somebody in above that scale is a tough decision. It's easier for them to do it after they've seen you demonstrate your value and how you fit in to their company and from a value structure. So just wanted to share that part with you. We also get a lot of questions about the working arrangements, the remote, the hybrid, the on-site. Obviously this whole world that we're in now just was created by the pandemic, because prior to this, it was a completely different world. I think it's safe to say we're never going back to what it was before the pandemic. But I also would say that I think it's going to continue to evolve, and you're going to get different trends that happen over the course of time, and variables are going to play a big role on that. So, the economy, or if the job market tightened up, you're going to see these trends change. So monitor that. But what we're seeing in general is we found out everybody loves remote. For the most part, everybody's wanting remote. It was a kind of a real big differentiator there for a while, and companies that really wanted to take advantage of it were going full bore into the remote world, and they were capitalizing on that. We've seen a lot of pullback lately. I think hybrid is the place where everybody's settling in, and we're seeing a wide variety of hybrid, from a fixed schedule hybrid to just kind of a bare minimum, like we want you in the office, 1 day a week or a couple, 2-3 times a month. So we're seeing a lot of that. We're also seeing a geographic location situation where clients will consider individuals that can commute. So they don't have to live local, but they have to be close enough to be able to commute, to be able to be on site anywhere from a few days a month to a few days a quarter, just for that continuity, and so they can have that face time. And then we still have clients that are very adamant about it's got to be full-time on site. And what it's happening for them is they're having to wait longer to fill their jobs. But they are finding people, because there are people that want that want to be on site. And I think the main reasons companies are holding on to that is they just view that their culture is going to be damaged over the long run if they don't have people in the office. Whatever culture they're trying to build, it's one thing if you built it with your existing employees and you let them go and work remotely, because they already know your culture and they're kind of already a part of it. But you're constantly hiring and bringing in new talent. That new talent, they don't get immersed in that culture when they work remotely. And so you can see over time how that's going to start to dissipate. So what are you guys seeing out there? What is your current work situation? You're fully remote? 50-50? Okay. You're 100% remote? Okay. Hybrid? Okay. Mm-hmm. Jimmy, I think I know you guys gone through a little bit of a decision process on that. Where are you guys at Woodman?
I'd say for our technical individual contributor role, they're 100% remote. We do have the capabilities of them coming in and hoteling. It's good for things like AI planning and those kind of things, just to kind of get to know the team and those kind of things. It's hard though. If you want to kind of get to know that team, you have to kind of plan around you and other people being in the office at the same time. So I'd say for our technical positions, it's definitely 100% remote. We're recruiting East Coast, West Coast. Doesn't make any difference at this point.
Right. Okay. Any challenges that have come up though with that besides that? Just
I wish the solution architect was a solution architect for everybody. They're not. So there's always challenges when it comes to recruiting the person for you as well. So.
Okay. Thanks. Appreciate that insight from your company. So I'm just going to walk down through these. So what we have here is this is Omaha data. It's pulled from a number of different sources. One is we do have a licensed comp analysis license with salary.com, but there's other sources that we have too. So we tried to blend the data, but this is for Omaha for these particular roles. You'll see, the Roman numeral 2 or 3 or 4 after these titles. That's generally going to be a 2 is going to be 2 to 4 years. A 3 is going to be 4 to 7, and a 4 is going to be 7 plus. There is a 5 for a lot of these jobs too, but that's a 10 plus person. And when it comes to cloud, 10 plus years, you're starting, that's starting to be a pretty small group of individuals at that point. So we'll just run down through this. You'll also see bonus potential on some of these slides. Usually at the 2 to 4 years, we're not seeing bonus potential, but most of these roles are bonus potential in their companies. Bonusing can be different from company to company. So some of it can be directly related to your role. It can be performance of your IT division. It can be a company thing or a combination of all three. But we are seeing in this cloud space that bonus. So in here, you can see that on a level 3 person and cloud infrastructure architect, the bonus is 10%. That's the target bonus anyway that we're seeing that's blended. Going to the level 4, this is the type of dollars we're seeing out there. And then cloud engineers, I know these are pretty big ranges, but we see pretty big ranges. And these are all real Omaha dollars. So there are people in Omaha that are across this entire range. Cloud engineer 3, cloud engineer 4, DevOps engineer 3, 4. Not to put you on the spot, Jimmy, but is Woodman is our cloud positions a bonus eligible position? Okay.
We don't have a cloud engineer. We have like a solution architect that has Azure as a secondary skill for us.
Okay.
Your ranges are right where we'd be.
Okay.
So,
yep.
Full stack developer, we don't have an Azure full stack developer. We have a .NET or a Java developer that has Azure as a backup skill.
Okay. And so this is what we're seeing, and Azure, when it comes to developers, does add to it, but full stack developers in general are in high demand. The salaries are up there. Azure doesn't move the needle too much because those are already high in demand. Through that. So anyway, yeah, I guess what I would just say is if you are in the market to find another job and you want to understand what your value is, you can reach out to any recruiter on our team and they can run comp analysis for you off of your particular background and experience and give you a really good idea of what you can expect in the market. We prefer that you take that approach because there's a lot of people that just say, well, yeah, I'll change jobs if I can make 30,000 more a year or whatever. And that's not a wise go-to-market strategy if you're serious about changing jobs. So you need the data behind you to support what you're asking for. If you're a client, Jimmy, we'll be rolling this out, all this comp analysis. So as you give us opportunities to work for you, we're going to be able to start giving you full comp analysis, much more than just a few numbers on a page like this. Lots of data points.
It is a good point.
Mm-hmm.
obviously we don't move forward in the process.
Right.
So,
Can you show the full stack again?
so to know your value is a good thing, right?
So this would be like a 4 would be a 7+ year experience individual in that space.
For that $1.
What's that?
Oh, okay, so that's the lowest you go. On the data.
Yeah, the minimum.
Okay.
Yeah.
I knew you're looking for people with a lot more experience than just like a few years or 1 year.
Yeah, I mean, I have data on like what a person who's like 0 to 2 years of experience for sure. Yeah, we could certainly get that for you or pull that for you and give that to you. But I was just trying to pick a segment. Right. Yeah. Right. Well, you know, a developer coming right out of school into the marketplace now is probably in the 70 to upper 70s range, maybe even approaching 80. So, you know, you add a couple of years of experience, you add the right skills in that experience, and it goes up pretty quickly. So, yeah. Be happy to share more with you, or any of these people would share more with you too. Okay, well, that's really all that I wanted to share today, but appreciate the chance to just tell you a little bit more about our name change and our company transitioning, and getting to share a little bit of market data with you. Feel free to reach out to us anytime you have questions about any of this stuff. Okay. All right. With that, I'll let Bob plug in here and take over. You need that. Oh, I'll have